All right, so as you see here, the passive voice is the opposite. And this is one of the lessons that you have studied, of course, in French. And today's lesson is going to be about passive voice, but this time in English. Here I have written two sentences on this online board. The first one is Samir stole, and number two, a bank was. The question here, as you see on this online board, is what is the difference? What is the difference in sentence? But before that, do you think the two sentences have the same meaning? Samir stole a bank and a bank was stolen. Do they have the same meaning or are they different in terms of meaning?
The same meaning.
Same meaning. And what is the difference then? What is the difference between the two sentences?
Um,
Uh, I think the sentence number one, there is a subject, but in the sentence number two, there isn't.
Yes, there is. Good. Now, in sentence number one, there is the subject. The sentence starts with, as you said, the subject. The subject here is Samir. This is the subject. But in sentence, why there is no mentioning of the subject? Why there isn't Samir in the second sentence? Why do you think I have deleted Samir in the second sentence? Just like that, or because I want to give you a certain meaning?
to give the focus on the action.
Very good. Okay, because here in sentence number two, the focus is on the action. But here, as Huda said, the subject is the this is what I want to focus on in sentence number one. I want to tell you the one who stole this bus, this person who is Samir. But in sentence number two, what I want to focus on is not Samir. I don't care about who stole the bank, but what I care about, the bank was stolen. So it means that I am focusing here on the action itself. So in sentence number one, this is what we call an active voice. And sentence number two, this is what we call the passive voice. All right? In other words, in sentence number one, it's the active voice. And the active voice is used only to focus and to give much importance to the subject itself. All right? But for sentence number two, which is the passive voice, the focus is no longer on the subject or the doer of the action, but it's on the action itself. All right? For example, when I tell you the house was cleaned, or the house was cleaned, here my focus is on the action of cleaning the house, but I'm not caring about who cleaned the house. On the opposite, or on the other hand, we can say Sarah cleaned the house. So in the sentence, I'm not caring about the action, but I want to tell you that Sarah has done great. She's a great person because she has cleaned the house. All right. So this is the difference between the active voice and the passive voice. All right. Again, another question. Where do you find passive voice sentences a lot? Where do you hear or where do you read passive voice sentences a lot? Mhm.
I
Where
don't know.
where do you listen to these type of passive voice sentences a lot? We hear them or we read them a lot on the news, on TV, on newspaper. Why do you think we read these sentences a lot on news and TV and newspapers, etc.? Why? Because on the news, what do they want to focus on a lot? They don't focus on who has done the action, but they focus a lot on the action itself. For example, they'd say one of the piece of news you can find is a house was stolen. For example, a house was stolen, or they can say, for example, a soldier was killed, or a man was killed, or a man was robbed. So these are passive sentences because they want to focus, as I told you, and as your Iman said, on the action itself. All right. All right. I'm going to ask you or to invite you to read this dialogue. This dialogue is between who and who? How many people do you have in this dialogue?
Two.
Two.
Two people.
Number one, Romy.
Romy,
Number two,
Oliver.
Oliver.
all right. One of you is Romy, and the other is Oliver.
I'm gonna be Romy.
Okay. Yeah. And you can start if you want.
Did you hear the news?
What news?
The barber shop next to Timmy's house will be closed.
That's too bad. We're a designer. Hurry.
But another one will be opened at the same place.
Goodbye, hurry.
Right. Now, the dialogue is clear. Now, I want you, please, to tell me what are the sentences or the passive voice sentences in this dialogue. Or do you have first passive voice sentences?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you please tell me some of these sentences?
The barber shop
Barber
next to
shop.
Timmy's house will be closed.
All right. So will be closed is one of those sentences. Good. And do you have another one?
Another one will be opened.
Good. Will be opened is another one. Now, how did you know? How did you know these are passive sentences? Why do you think they are not active sentences?
There is no subject.
There is no subject. This is one. What else?
The tense.
The tense, yes. But one of the things that really distinguishes the passive from the active. What is it? In both sentences, what do you have?
The barber shop can't be closed by itself.
Yes, but in the two sentences, will be closed, will be opened. What is similar between the two sentences? What do you have? Mhm. The two sentences, what do you have? Will be closed, will be opened. What's similar between these?
Verb to be and the past participle.
Very good. Here, what do you have? As you said, is the verb to be plus what? Plus the next one, which is the past participle, and this is how we know that this is the passive voice. It's when we have the verb to be plus the past participle, and it's the same here. You see, this is the verb to be, and this is the past participle. All right, so this is how we are going to distinguish between the two, and we're going to see this later in a table once we reach that stage. All right, now the question that we are going to ask ourselves, if you have a piece of paper with you, please try to write these notes because we are going to need them once we change the active into the passive.
Okay.
All right, do you see the screen now? Do you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, Huda, can you please read the sentence?
Sarah writes a letter.
Sarah writes a letter. All right, and now this sentence, Huda, is in the active or the passive?
Active.
Active. Do you remember? Will be opened and will be closed? We
Yes.
have the verb to be plus past participle. In the sentence, Sarah writes a letter. Do you have the verb to be plus past participle?
No.
No. So it means that this is active sentence. All right. Now, what we have to know is what is the subject here? What is the subject?
Sarah.
Is Sarah. And write is what? Writes. This is what?
Verb.
All right. This is a verb. This is what we call, please write this down. This is what we call active verb. Active verb. It's the active voice. So the verb that you have in the sentence is the active verb. This is one. And sometimes we call it also the main verb. The main verb. And the letter is what? Is an object. It's an object. So this is subject, this is verb, and this is object. Now, when you change this sentence into the passive voice, it becomes Iman. Can you read it, please?
A letter is written by Sarah.
A letter is written by Sarah. Do you have in this sentence, do you have a verb, the verb to be plus past participle?
Yeah.
What is the verb to be plus past participle here?
Is written.
Is written. So this sentence, we can say that this sentence is in the passive voice. Now, what are the steps that we have followed in order to change the active into the passive? Do you see the numbers here? Number one, this one, number one, number two, number three. Do you see them?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the first step that we have here is what? Number one and number one. What do you see here? Number one and number one. The first step is you have to change the subject with object. So the first time we had Sarah, we changed it to become an object, and the letter was an object. We changed it and became a subject. All right, this is the first step, and this is number one. I'm writing this on this number one. Now, what is here? Huda, can you read number two, please?
Verb to be in active tense.
What is the active tense? Do you remember I told you to write this? This is the active verb or the active. Sarah, let's repeat this. Sarah writes a letter. The verb writes. In which tense is this? Is it in the simple present, simple past, or simple future?
Simple present.
Simple present. So if you change or if you conjugate the verb to be, if you conjugate the verb to be in the active tense, it will become what?
Is.
Verb to be in the simple present. What? No, verb to be in simple present. What do you have? You have you have are, and you have is. So since we have a letter a letter is, or a letter are?
Is.
A letter is. So this is stage number. This is stage number 2. All right. Now stage number 3. Ima.
Main verb, past participle.
Main verb in the past participle. What is the main verb again? Do you remember? This is the main verb or the active verb. All right. Do you remember?
Active verb.
So the active verb or the main verb, we should change it into the. Do you remember? We have simple past is. What is the simple past of write? Wrote. And what is the past participle of write?
Written.
Written. So you see here we have written. We have written here. Written. Because written is the past participle of write, and this is rule number. All right. The Huda.
By when the subject is known.
Okay, here we add by with one condition. By this one here. We add by with one condition. What is the condition? It's only when the subject is known. What do you mean by the subject is known? Suppose, for example, here we don't have Sarah. Here we have, for example, she. Do you know who is she? We don't know who is she.
No.
So in this case, the sentence will become a letter is written. By who? We don't know. So if it's not known, no need to write by. By we write it only when the subject or the doer of the action is known. All right? So we repeat again.
Okay.
How many steps do we have to change the active into the passive?
4 steps.
4 steps. All right? So please take a piece of paper. We are going to need these steps in order to change a sentence I'm going to write here. Try to please change this sentence, which is Kamal waters some flowers. A piece of Kamal waters some flowers. Okay, here you have the rules. They are already here. So please work on them. And pay attention, please. The passive voice. In the passive voice sentence, you have to add the verb to be. It's very necessary. Are you done?
Not yet.
Okay, so what is the first step? Let's do this together. First step, we do what?
Begin with the object.
Object.
So we change the subject with the object. So I'm going to write here sunflowers, and here I'm going to write camel. This is number two. What is number two?
The verb to be in active
Verb
tense.
to be in active tense.
So what is the verb to be in the active tense here?
Water.
Simple present.
Waters. What is the verb to be in simple present? We have blue.
Are.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Number three. Number three. The main verb in the past participle. So what is the past participle of the main verb here?
Watered.
Watered. And number four, we should add but only when the subject is known. Here, do you know the subject? Is the subject known to you?
Yes.
Camel.
So we have add by. Iman,
Right.
can we read now the passive
Some flowers are watered by camel.
is it clear about this now? Is it fine about these steps?
Yes.
All right, we're going to go to some exercise to check your understanding. Huda, can you please read the first question?
I can't see the screen.
Yes.
Do you see it now?
No.
No. Because of the bad connection, I guess. Here it is.
No.
Do you see it now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Can you?
Now it's got. There it is. Choose the sentences only in the passive voice.
So how many sentences do we have here?
Fine.
We have 10 sentences. I want you to choose only the sentences that are written in the passive voice. So please take 2 minutes. Try to write just the numbers on a piece of paper. The numbers
Okay.
of the sentences in the passive voice. Are you done?
Yes.
Okay. We start, please. Number one. Can you please read number one, Iman?
The letter was sent 2 days ago.
So this is in the passive voice. This is correct. Why? Because we have was sent. Huda, next sentence in the passive voice.
Tim was taken to the zoo yesterday.
Very good. This is correct. Iman, next one.
The plants are watered every day.
This is correct. Next one, Huda.
The children are told not to play there.
That's correct. Okay. Next one, Iman.
This problem is discussed by the student.
That's correct. Okay. Next one.
A new shop will be opened in 3 days.
That's correct. And the passive voice tense is will be opened. All right. Iman, do you have another sentence?
Nick was asked to help Tom.
Very good. This is correct. Okay. Huda, do you have another one?
The house was decorated with flowers.
That's correct. So these are, how did you know that these are passive voice sentences again? Do you remember? How did you know this?
Yes. Because the subject
And tense.
because there isn't a subject, the object is at the first.
Okay, this is one. And number two, because of what? Do you see the
Verb,
things as, yes, Iman?
verb to be in active tense.
Very good. So you have the verb to be in the active tense plus what? Plus past participle. All of them. You see, all of them we have verb to be plus past participle. All right. We go to the next question, please. Huda, can you read the next one? Huda, you see the screen?
No.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Can you?
Underline the correct form.
So here I want you to choose just the best answer and then you underline it. So for you in your case, you are going to write for me, for example, number one, and you write the correct case. Don't write the whole sentence, just the verb to be and the past participle.
Okay.
Are you done?
Okay.
All right, Huda, can you please choose the best answer for number one and try to justify it, of course.
I was helped yesterday.
So what is the best answer here? You said I was
Was
helped. Why did you choose
helped
was helped?
because someone helped me yesterday.
Because we have the expression, yeah? Yesterday.
Yes.
All right. Iman.
Milk is bought every day.
Why did you choose is bought?
Every day.
Good. Huda.
Nick was sent to the library yesterday.
Very good. Iman.
This will be given a new toy tomorrow.
Okay. This is tomorrow. Okay. And you have chosen will be given. Next one, Huda.
This story was published 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Because we have was published. All right. And we are going to write
Yes.
2 years ago. So no need to go through the other questions. They are clear, and I have uploaded. Look, I have uploaded this worksheet in your Microsoft Teams group. You just go there and you will find it.
Okay.
All right. All right. We go to the next one. Here we are going to work on the verb to be. Since I told you the verb to be is very important in the passive voice sentences, we are going to conjugate the verb to be according to the sentence. For example, number one, the book bought yesterday. Bought is the past participle, but before the past participle, we have to write the verb to be. So what do you think? What is the correct form of the verb to be here?
Was.
Simple past.
Simple past. Why? Because we have the expression yesterday, so here you have to write
Yesterday.
was. All right, so please, again, 2 minutes for this one, and we correct again.
Okay.
Listen, try to work on number 1, 2, 3, 4, and you stop. And the rest, as I told you, I have uploaded this on your Microsoft Teams group. You can do it later. So work on number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Iman, number 2. Let's try to correct it.
Tim will be invited to the party tomorrow.
Can you repeat again, please?
Tim will be invited to the party tomorrow.
Very good. This is will be invited because we have tomorrow, future, simple future. Yes, Huda?
This SMS was sent 2 days ago
Why did you write was?
because we have 2 days ago.
That's correct. Iman?
Food is bought every day.
Food
Is
is.
bought.
Why did you write is? Because we have every day, and every day is a habit. As you know, simple present, we use it when we are talking about a habitual action, something we do every day. All right, the rest you do it at home. We go to the next one, please. Can you read the question, Iman?
Fill in the correct form of the verb.
So we are going to work only on number 1, 2, 3, and 4 again, and the rest you do it later. All right. So the verbs between brackets, try to put them in the 1 minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. Huda, number 1.
The key was found under the table yesterday.
Very good. Was found. Iman, number 2.
They are taken to the museum. They will be taken to the museum tomorrow.
Repeat again, Iman.
They will be taken to the museum tomorrow.
Very good. Will be taken, because we have the future. Number 3, Huda.
Lessons are attended by the students every day.
Very good. This is simple present. Lessons are, this is plural. Lessons are attended. Good. And last one, Iman.
The park will be reconstructed next year.
Will be reconstructed, because this is the simple future. So please, the rest of the activity, do it at home. All right, Iman, next one, please. Can you?
The building was designed last year.
No. Number 5. Can you please read question number 5?
Correct the mistake.
So in these 14 sentences, we have mistakes in the sentences. I want you please to correct the mistake that you find in each sentence. Again, we work on 1, 2, 3, and 4. Try to see what is the mistake and correct it. Don't write the whole sentence, just write for me the correction. Okay, number 1. Email.
The address was written
Yes, Huda, go on.
The address was written on a sheet of paper.
Good. So what is the mistake here? The mistake is it's not were, it should be was, because this is singular. Very good. Iman, number 2.
The dress is made of silk.
What is the mistake here again, Iman?
Is the
The
verb to be.
mistake is are, and the correction is. Huda, number 3.
The dog was injected yesterday.
Good. And Iman, the last one.
The letter will be sent soon.
What is the mistake in the sentence?
Been.
Being is the mistake, and the correction is be. It's not being. So please, the rest of these sentences again, try to do them at home. All right. Huda, the last question.
rewrite the sentences in the passive voice.
Okay, so in this exercise, we are going to work on number 1 and number 2, and the rest you do it later, all right? So this is direct questions. Rewrite these sentences into the passive voice. Take a minute, and we correct together. Iman, we start with you. Can you read please sentence number 1?
The car was bought
No.
yesterday.
Just read first the sentence.
We bought this car yesterday.
What is the subject, Iman?
We
The verb here.
bought.
Bought. And bought, this is in the simple past. And the object here, this car. All right?
Right.
Oh, now,
Yes.
can you please give us the sentence into the passive voice?
This car was bought yesterday.
Arrogant. This car was bought, as you said, and then we finish the sentence. This car was bought yesterday. Here, the subject, is the subject known in the sentence, Iman?
No.
No, so the by is not necessary here. Huda, the next sentence.
William Shakespeare wrote Romeo and Juliet.
Okay.
Romeo and Juliet was written by William Shakespeare.
Very good. All right, so please, the next of the exercises, try to do them at home. All right. Now, is it clear about this? Is it clear about how you change the the active tense into the passive tense?
Yes.
All right. We still have to work on something else. We didn't finish yet. Now, the sentences that we have seen together, it's when you have only one object. This is only with one object. Now, type 2, it's when we are going to work on sentences with 2 objects. It's not only one object, it's object. So please, I want you to take notes of what I'm going to write here. Take notes. A sentence with 2 objects, like what? For example, Sarah, for example, sent me a letter. This is clear. So what is the subject in the sentence?
Sorry.
Sarah, this is subject. What is the verb?
Sent.
Sent.
And this is the verb. What is the object?
Letter.
We have object number 1 and we have object number 2. So in this sentence we have 2 objects. Now, how are we going to change these sentences into the passive voice? Now we have 2 choices. We can start with object number 1 or we can start with object number 2. We can start with object number 1 and we can say number 2 and we can say a letter. And if you want to start with object number 1, what are we going to say?
I.
I. A minute. You have 1 minute. I want you to give me two sentences. So two sentences in the passive voice. Okay, some of you to give me this sentence with a letter.
A letter was sent to me by Sarah.
Was sent to me by Sarah. Huda, do you think the sentence is correct?
I think so.
Yes, this is correct. So she used to here, and this is very important when you start the sentence with object number two. A letter was, this is correct, was, a letter was sent by who? To who? Sorry, to who? To me by Sa. This is correct, Iman. Yes, Huda, number two.
I was sent a letter by Sarah.
I was sent a letter by Sarah. This is correct. This is the passive voice of the sentence. Sarah sent me a letter. So you see, in this sentence we have two objects, and if you have two objects, this is how you are going to deal with it. All right. Maybe we take another example. We take another example again, and this time we're going to write. He gave me a gift. Or this time we're not going to use me, we're going to use he gave him a gift. So how many objects again do you have here?
Two.
This is one, this is two. All right. And if you want to start the sentence, you are going to start it with
A gift.
a gift. All right. And also
Was
He.
okay, 1 minute again. Change this sentence and record. Someone to start?
A gift
gift.
was given.
to-
A gift was given to him.
Very good. A gift was given to him. Iman?
He was given a gift.
Was given a gift. All right, so this is how to work on a sentence with two objects. All right, so pay attention to this, please. Is it clear about this? Do you have any questions about
Yes.
this list?
No, everything is clear.
All right, so well, to finish this, I have uploaded for you also a chart about how to change tenses from the active to the passive. So if you notice here, these are tenses. You have simple present, past, present continuous, past simple, past continuous, etc. And for each tense, you have the active example and the passive voice. For each tense, the active voice example and the example also in the passive voice. So if you don't want to follow the steps, you can go back to this chart, and I think it's clear. No need to go back to this. All right. Once you finish, I want you please to go to the files here. Do you see the files?
Yes.
Sorry, it's not the. This is not the team. Wait. If you see, do you see the files here?
Yeah.
If you go to this file, you are going to find the worksheet I have uploaded here. You see them? Here we have the passive voice chart and the passive voice exercises. All right? Plus, of course, the other files that we have worked on last time. So please do the exercises that you have on these worksheets. And once you finish, try to submit them to me. Write the answers and submit them to me here. If you go to the assignment, you see the assignment here?
Yeah.
Yes.
If you go to the assignment here, you are going to find submit. You just submit for me the, I'm going to put for you here the worksheet first. You work on it and submit it so that I can see your answers later on. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Any questions about this lesson?
No.
Okay, so this is all for today, and see you inshallah in another time.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.